So Kevin, you're the man behind Ford Racing UK. Can you tell us how the Puma Cup came about?
Yeah, it started off in a very slow way actually, about 2015, so a couple of 3 years ago, as an idea from a guy called Alex Eacock in EMC Motorsport in Birmingham. He was involved in Porsches and was looking for a more cost-effective way to go club racing, and he came up with the Puma idea, and it was history from there. So in 2015 they took it as far forward as they could, and then at a chance meeting at the Autosport show I discussed the possibility of having some input to it, and subsequently they invited myself and Ford Racing UK to actually do the day-to-day running and promotion of the series. So that's how it came about, and we're now 2 years, we're into our second year of racing. We've increased the grids by 100% from the first year. I'm quite pleased with that, and the cars are very, very cost effective.
Yeah, and running championships is something that you've been doing for a long time, is that right?
Yes, for quite 27 years actually. I'm told I don't look as old as I feel sometimes, but 27 years. I've had a varied checkered history in both saloon car championships, predominantly Fords, and also worked contract work with Ford Motorsport as it was then at Boreham, and they asked me to start off the Ford KA Rally Championship, which we did successfully, culminating in the fact they had some 50 to 70 cars. Yeah, that was pretty much associated with various race clubs over that time, but I'm now working with a classic sports car club, and I find them such a easy people to deal with, and there are no dramas, no issues, just solutions. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And you've mentioned the cost effectiveness of certainly getting the cars, and also there are some longer races as well. Can you talk a bit about the ethos and the aims of the series?
Well, yes, normal sprint races would probably see a 15-minute qualifying, maybe a 15-minute or 20-minute race, and that's it. It's a blast and bang. But the particular format that we've got here is that we allow up to 2 drivers to compete in a race car, which has a 30-minute qualifying session, so you split the qualifying between the 2 of you if there are 2, or you can race 1 driver, and it's a 40-minute race, so you get 20 minutes each driving on a balance, and it's quite cost effective because the race entries have been pegged by the Classic Sports Car Club for, this is the 3rd year, they pegged it at £385, so divide that by 2, that's not bad racing money.
No. Well, we've got 3 of the cars here that are racing this year. Could you maybe talk us around the car and tell us what goes into creating one of these Puma Cup contenders?
Well, it's simplicity itself really. I'll just show you perhaps some of the major safety features, which is the roll cage. It's an integral roll cage from custom cages, but as you can see, they're very, very rigidly built, and then they are all welded into place. This is actually welded into the car, and it makes the whole structure very, very safe and very, very secure should anything untoward happen. Mm-hmm. The other thing to note really is that all the sound deadening has to come out, because that's a great weight saving, and that's really quite simplistic. The seat here has got a 5-point harness, so that secures you in place when you're driving around, and you can still reach the instruments, the relevant instruments that you need to. Fire extinguisher down here is able to be operated from inside and outside the car, and we'll have a look under the bonnet here, and really all you see is a standard Ford Puma engine, a 1.7 Zetec S engine, which produces, in this particular guise, probably about 135 to 140 brake horsepower. As I said, the ECU underneath is reprogrammed with a slight modest increase in the power bands to give you a bit more power. So that's simplicity itself. Battery we locate still in the original position. The air filter is still the standard air filter. The induction system and the exhaust system, we've freed up the exhaust system, but the induction system is all standard. So really what you see in a road car, if you open the bonnet, would be exactly the same as you see here.
Yeah, and keeping a good lid on costs, I guess.
Absolutely. If you have an engine go bang, you just go out and buy a donor car for a couple of £100 or 150 quid, and providing the engine's in reasonable nick, which these have proved to be very, very reliable and resilient, we just go from there.
What about the suspension?
Suspension, we use a custom-made suspension from G-A-Z, which is under here. It just makes the car stiffer in rebound and bump and stop, etc. The springs on there we keep free, so some people like to run slightly harder springs or some slightly softer, and there is some adjustment on the suspension to make the ride suit the weather conditions, harder in the dry and softer in the wet. Proving to be good and cost effective again. The name of the game really for Puma Cup is cost effective.
And these tyres as well, is this for the series?
Yeah, they are the control tyres. You'll see they are Dunlop Durezza tyres, and as we've discussed earlier, they are the control tyre, and they again cost effective. Sorry to keep going on about that, but that's really the name of the game.
Well, thanks for talking us around the car, Kevin. Sounds like a very exciting series. It's going to be a very competitive year, I'm sure. We're certainly delighted to be competing, and I think on that note we better get ready. So thank you again.
My pleasure. My pleasure.